Okay, for my particular design, okay, I've got a bunch of these little lines and textures and all that kind of stuff incorporated into the outside of my box. I'm actually going to paint glaze into those lines to make them stand out more, so I'm not really that concerned about it. If that's the case for you, then you're fine. If you want to make sure that these are all different colors and all these little lines and stuff and all these little details are some other color, then by all means, you need to really clean those out. Now, because this is going to be a jar or something with a lid, okay, we need to fire it with the lid on, okay? That way, if there's any warping on the bottom piece or in the lid, they will warp together and therefore they will then still fit together. If we fire these separately and the lid warps, it's not gonna really fit right and it's gonna be a little bit uneven. We don't want that, all right? So, if we remember correctly, okay, anything that glaze touches, glaze will stick to when it's fired, right? So if I have glaze on the edge of my lid here, okay, as you can see that I do right there and all along here, okay, if I were to fire that sitting like this, okay, these two pieces would become one and they would never come apart. I've gotten pretty good at separating lids, but if it's got that much glaze on it, I don't like my odds. So what I want to do is take my sponge, make sure I clean off all of these edges, okay? Make sure that there is no glaze there. I like to use the side of this big sponge. That tends to work pretty good. It cleans it off really well. I've got a lot of surface area that I can use to make sure that this is clean every time that I'm wiping it across there, and therefore I've got it nice and clean, okay? Now, you'll also notice on the inside, all right, I don't know if you can see that in the camera, I will try to hold it up there, but there's a little bit of a barrier, about 1/8 of an inch that goes all the way around, and that is when this is fired, the glaze can run on the inside of my lid and connect it to the box on the inside. That would be bad because we wouldn't see that the drip covered that up, and unfortunately our box would not come apart, or a lid would not come apart from the box part of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I also got a little bit of glaze that kind of squirted out a little bit as I was cleaning that up. All these little nooks and crannies, all these little curves and stuff like that, it likes to get trapped in there. So we wanna make sure that that's clean as well. Same thing goes for the box, okay, or the bottom part of it. Now this isn't as critical because gravity will pull the glaze downwards. So if I have a little bit of glaze that's close to the edge of the, where the lid is gonna touch, it's not that critical. However, it's not a bad idea just to kind of get into that practice of giving yourself a little bit of a barrier, just to be on the safe side. You should be okay, but you never know. All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and finish cleaning this off. This should be nice and sparkly clean compared to everything else. There should be no glaze on it. If I need to, I may have to here in just a second. Come around to the very end. I was thinking I might have to clean off my sponge. And there's no problem with just stopping what you're doing and going and cleaning your sponge off and then getting back to it, because you can always clean that off as far as that's concerned, okay? So now, top edge of my lid or my box is clean. The edge of my lid to where it's gonna touch, okay? Those should not stick together. Now, glazing the outside, that's gonna be another story, and we'll get that in the next video.